What's up? My name is Jay Pro. I am an amateur boxer and fitness trainer. Welcome to episode number 1 of this brand new beginner series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to line up in proper boxing stance, and then I'm going to teach you how to throw all 6 of the fundamental punches of boxing. You don't need any equipment whatsoever. Just make sure you have a little bit of space. And then the only other thing you want to grab is something that you can use to make a line on the floor. Maybe that's a phone charger or a resistance band, some string, whatever it is. Find your space, find your line on the floor, and then we're going to jump right in.
You look good in the summertime. Them tan lines on you make me want to run and dine.
Okay, so you have your space cleared out, you have your line down. I'm going to tell you about the line in a second. The first thing that you want to do is approach your target in a side profile. So for me, it's the camera. For you, if you don't have any equipment, you might want to use a mirror. And then you're going to face your target in a side profile with your dominant hand and foot in the back. So for me, I'm a righty. My right leg or my rear leg is going to be in the back. My left leg is going to be my lead leg in front. Step 1 is you're going to take your lead foot, for me, my left leg, and I'm going to bring it right up just behind that line with my foot at a 45-degree angle. Then I'm going to take my rear leg, which for me is my right leg, and I'm going to bring it over that line with my back foot at a 45-degree angle as well. From here, I'm going to sit into a comfortable bounce, nice and light and relaxed right on the balls of my feet. Then I'm going to bring my arms in to protect my body and my hands up to protect my guard, my chin, and I'm now in a proper boxing stance. And from here, I can easily shift my weight from my lead to my rear. That's why we use this line as a reminder, because we want to be balanced at all times. Boxing, just like life, it's all about balance. So sit comfortable here, practice shifting your weight from lead to rear. Obviously, when you're doing your boxing workouts, you're not going to have the line. When in doubt, just think you want to be on train tracks instead of a balance beam. If I'm on a balance beam, I have no stability here. Train tracks, I'm nice and balanced, and I'm able to pull off all of the amazing moves in boxing. So now that you're in your stance, let's go ahead and let's run through the punches. Universally in boxing, we use a punch number system going 1 through 6. It goes up even higher once you start to get more advanced, but we'll start with the basics. We're going to start with the 1, which is the lead straight. So probably the simplest and arguably most important punch in boxing is the 1, lead straight, also known as the jab. You're really just turning over that lead hand and then bringing it right back into your chin. So a little bit of a bend at the knees, extending that arm, and then bringing it right back into the chin. Then we have the 2. Now it's important to know here that for the 2 and everything up, we're going to be driving more power off of the ground. So we're going to work from the ground up for the rest of our punches. The 2 is going to be the rear straight, also known as the cross. In this case, I'm going to pivot my back foot, fully extend my back arm, and then shoot back to the chin. So I'm pivoting my foot, turning my hips, and then fully extending my back arm. That's the 2. By doing this, I'm driving my energy off of the ground, which is where all of our power comes from. It's not the upper body. You don't need all these huge bulky muscles up here. You're driving right from the ground. Pushing off with my back foot and then extending back into the chin. So those are the straights. Now let's talk about the rounded punches, starting with the 3. The hooks are a little bit trickier, so we're going to break them down in a couple steps. So starting with the 3, which is our lead hook, the arm that's in front, we're going to bring our elbow up to a 90-degree angle. The wrist is then going to turn out away from you. I'm going to pivot my lead foot to drive that hook across. So one more time. Elbow up, wrist out, pivot my foot. Think about it like you're squashing a bug. Keeping my chin tucked, my eyes on my target, and then I'm using my foot and my torso to rotate that hook across. Then we have the 4, which is the rear hook. Same idea, we're gonna pivot our back foot, elbow up, wrist out, and then we're driving that across with our torso and our hips. That's the 4. Then we have the 5 and the 6, which are the uppercuts. The 5 is gonna be the lead uppercut. So I'm just gonna hinge my hips, similar to the hook, except I'm not bringing my elbow out. It's coming right from guard, and I'm just coming up. Again, same idea. I'm pivoting my lead foot, using my hips and torso to transfer that energy off the floor. That's the 5. Then we have the 6, which is the rear uppercut. Same idea. Pivoting that back foot, rotating my hips, and then driving that energy off the ground. So let's run through them all one more time. We've got the 1, that's the lead straight. The 2 is the rear straight. 3 is the lead hook. 4 is the rear hook. 5 is the lead uppercut. And 6 is the rear uppercut. Okay, so we got the stance down. We got introduced to all 6 punches. And by the way, if all of this feels super weird and super awkward, being on train tracks, you're probably on the right track if you're new to boxing. Anytime you're introducing your body to new movements, it's all gonna feel a little weird at first. I promise it's gonna get more and more natural over time. So a great way to practice your punches and your stance is with shadowboxing. You don't need any equipment whatsoever. Shadowboxing is really just like punching air. So what you can do is you can move around your space in your stance and slowly start putting together some of these punches in different combinations. A great one to start with is just the 1, 2. Lead straight, rear straight. And then you can move around a little bit, staying in your stance. Nice full extension with your punches. When you're ready, add a hook, make it a 1, 2, 3, and then move. Practice different angles. The more you practice, the more comfortable it's all gonna get. And remember, when you're brand new to boxing, you're not going at full speed with our shadow boxing. I'm not moving around like a crazy person. You wanna go nice and slow. Feel that energy being driven off of the ground from your feet, that full extension. Let your body really get more and more comfortable with all of these different movements. Now, a couple really important principles that you're gonna wanna take with you for your entire boxing training journey. Number 1, don't forget to breathe. Breathe. In boxing, we use short, crisp exhales coming from the chest and the solar plex. On every single punch, we breathe. You wanna make a noise as kind of a reminder and a trigger to exhale with every punch that you throw. My noise sounds like this. Ish, ish, ish. I always say the weirder the better. And I struggle with this with some beginners. Feel like people, we get shy. Don't be shy. You need to take care of your body. You've got to make sure that you have that oxygen flowing so you can make it through these workouts. On every punch, you breathe. Ish, 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 ish. Principle number 2. Upper body is going to be loose and relaxed because in boxing, we're driving the power from our lower body and from our core. I remember the first time I started boxing in college, I went in with all these bulky muscles and I was flexing and I got beat up in 2 seconds sparring with someone half my size because that person was loose and relaxed and they were hitting me with different angles that I couldn't see. So remember, that upper body, we want to be nice and relaxed. With all of our different punches and all of our different motions, the more relaxed, the more successful, and the better we're gonna feel with all of our punches. So keep that body, upper body nice and relaxed. Drive that power from the ground and through the core. And the last principle for now is full extension, and don't forget to protect the house. What do I mean by that? that the head is the house. Anytime you're punching, the other hand is gonna stay back to protect your guard, and all of your punches are gonna come directly back to your chin. So you don't wanna punch and then drop your hands, which if you're a beginner, might feel like you have more energy to do that, but that's part of the workout with your core, is bringing your arms right back into your chin. So if I'm throwing the 1, my rear hand is up by the chin. If I'm throwing the 2, protecting the house with my lead hand. Throwing the 3, you get the idea. Every punch, right back to the chin, and don't forget to protect the house. Okay, so now you have the stance, you have the 6 key punches. Spend some time moving around your space, shadow boxing, feeling out your form, getting more and more comfortable with these movements. And remember, anytime you're shadow boxing, you don't want to just stand in place and throw a bunch of punches. You want to throw punches anywhere from 1 to 4 punches at a time and then move. So 1, 2, and then move. 1, 2, 3, and then move. So spend some time shadow boxing, and when you're ready, move on to episode 2 if you have no equipment whatsoever for a 20-minute full body boxing workout, or episode 3 if you already own a reflex or a Cobra bag for a beginner boxing workout. And that's all I got for you today. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe to the channel because I'm dropping a new workout every single week. Boxing is the greatest thing in the world. Welcome to this journey. I'm excited to be working out with you. Let's get it.